The Rolling Thunder iRacing Series is back in Music City for the second time this season. Welcome to 2026, and welcome back to Elevated TV and FTN Broadcasting for coverage from the Nashville Fairground. Today, not one, but two races as the 25s bring to life the fairgrounds. Welcome back to the channel if you're watching on Elevated TV, FTN Broadcasting. I'm David Kreutz, commentating, and what we have in store for us is a double threat. We're going to have that first race coming up right after qualifying, and immediately after our first 25 laps, we'll invert the field and we'll bring them back again for our second 25 lap race. It's a case of two sprints as the field gets to grips with the track, and right now qualifying is on the way with provisional pole sitter Connor Popplewell sitting at the top of the charts. Qualifying time still being set as leading the board is Popplewell over the 28 of Nathan Gregg. There's Kyler Staley in the number 8. Kyler right now is in 4th. Dakota Bro inside on pit road is running 7th. Billy Gregg in the 98 right now is in 9th. 12 drivers have taken time so far with 2 minutes and 43 seconds left for them to do so. A little bit more time right now for drivers to get settled in, waiting for Dominic Lundley and David Palmer to go onto the racing circuit. Riddle making his way in, and as you can see tonight, the Nashville Fairgrounds cut down a little bit smaller than regular. We'll be making use of the quarter-mile infield circuit here that goes to the inside of pit road. So not only are we at the short track, but of course we're making things even smaller. It's going to be a quarter mile each lap. And so, for 25 laps, we're only going about 12 and a half miles in total, of course, in these events. It's fast, but it's not easy. That time by Riddle looks like a 17-second lap. His best time is 16.296. That's what put him into 11th here. Nobody else on the circuit set to take a time. Dakota Bro in the 8th position is qualified on the 4th row. Billy Gregg as well, also on track. Your top two qualifiers only separate now by 2 1,000ths of a second. So we got ourselves a tight and competitive field. Colton Brooks was only about 17 1,000ths of a second back, and it looks like that means the top three is all with one another with the slightest of differences around it. So don't be too shocked when you see the field continue to stay tight when we go racing. We got about a minute now before things settle in fully, and the field will be alive and well for the Nashville Fairgrounds. This field, of course, has gone to Nashville a few times before, and we're set to end the schedule on a few familiar notes. For those of you familiar watching on Elevated TV, next week we'll go to Kern County, and then finally we'll finish it off at Five Flags on the 22nd for a 100-lap feature race. That one is for all the marbles, and you absolutely should stay tuned and watch. That's our season finale. It's the money race, and today is still a little bit of preparation. This is our second time going to the Nashville Fairgrounds this season. We went there earlier in the season, and that was on the 4th of December for a 100-lap race as well. Now today, it's going to be a lot shorter, a lot smaller in terms of the race length. Don't expect it to look the same because it's basically not the same track. One thing is for certain, though, we know who's going to start this one up front, and that will be the number 019. That is Connor Popplewell. Connor will take it to the pole position, and he starts on the inside of row number 1. Alongside him will be Nathan Gregg. That's your front row for Heat 1 at Nashville. 25 laps of racing coming your way as your first heat is set to begin. Brooks on the circuit there, you see him. Not too far ahead. Connor Popplewell driving in that top spot. Great to have our front row already, and with that being said, let's go through your starting lineup and figure out who goes where. This first heat based entirely off the qualifying procedure you just watched, and this is how they run. It'll be Connor Popwell inside of row number 1 with a 15.465 second lap. Blistering time for the 0-19. Nathan Gregg goes second, only 2/1000ths of a second behind. He'll be there. P2, Colton Brooks, the only other driver really close, and that would be third place with a 15.482 second lap. P4 on the day is going to be Kyler Staley, 15.611 second time for Kyler, and Xavier King goes fifth, 15.619 for him. Braxton DeWeese in sixth place is only 6,000ths off that marker. He'll be there in row 3 on its outside. Then you'll have 7th place, Billy Gregg, 15.688 second lap, is 1,000th quicker than Dakota Bro for 8th. Brian Sykes and Bailey Threet go for the top 10 as John Riddle and Chris Golden wrap up the top dozen. Your final drivers in this practice and qualifying session, well, you'll see them right here. It'll be Dominic Lumley in the number 62 and David Palmer in the 052, who wrap up the field 13th and 14th respectively. 7 rows, 14 drivers make up our lineup for this heat and the next. Every driver will move on to the next heat and race again with a mostly inverted field based on finishing order. Now, as everyone settles themselves in, it's about time we go racing as drivers grab a gear. Iracing official pace car lets loose. We are set to go green. Now, of course, Connor Popwell is going to have himself the advantageous position, probably the race favorite just based on where he is right now. Track position, a big deal at these small tracks, but don't be surprised if anyone inside this top 10 has a chance to cut through. I would say going as far back as maybe Bailey Threet or John Riddle. If something is to happen up in front, these guys in the front of the field spinning out isn't the most unlikely outcome, and you can see the second row or the third row really come alive, cut under, take some spots away. So watch out for that as the race progresses. Popwell and Nathan Gregg were just about even on speed during that qualifying session. Now, as the iRacing pace car is set to go in, we'll see who of them is really the better man here at Nashville. 1 lap to green under pacing. Popwell on the pole. Get things going when the flag officially drops. Down the back straight. Into turns 3 and 4. The iRacing pace cars left the field, and so begins the night of 2 25-lap races. Twin race number 1 begins with trouble. Braxton DeWeese around goes the 08. Big trouble all around. The caution's out. And as soon as we go green, we've got trouble. Watch this. Going to get a better look as DeWeese immediately got loose here on the replay, and as he gets into the wall, contact behind him. Dakota Bro gets by. Number 61 of Bailey Threet makes contact. Just ahead of both of them. See there more contact as the number 84 of Xavier King goes around. As he goes spinning, pace car comes and meets him. A lot of contact, very fast. Yellow is out. Field comes across the line again, getting themselves settled in. Caution laps do count tonight. Going to take away from the green flag racing time. Drivers got to watch out for that, because if we have a few more cautions, you could see more laps whittle away. These cautions are about 3 or 4 laps long. 5 cautions would take 20 of 25 laps. We don't want to see that. Popwell still the leader. Nathan Gregg second. Colton Brooks is in third. Kyler Staley is right there in fourth. And Bailey, now the first driver, 1 lap down to the 61. Brown, the 52, 12th and last on the lead lap after that contact. Braxton Deweese on the way, and although it looked like he got some heavy hitting, he has now gotten himself back on the track and hasn't even taken his fast repair. Billy Gregg has, so now the field is double file and will be led again by Connor Popplewell. Contact again, and it's big. It's going to involve Deweese, it's going to involve Xavier King, and the field again sees trouble. Yellow is out on our second start of the day. Watch what happens here. As just a checkup, and Xavier King gets shot around. He was right behind the number 8 of Kyler Staley. Couldn't get the launch. John Riddle slides out of the way. Braxton Deweese involved, and so is Billy Gregg. That's the caution again. Second caution. Lap number 8 now. Nathan Gregg, Colton Brooks, and Brian Sykes. Top 4 with Staley running 5th. Chris Golden making his up to the 6th position. Dominic Lumley and Dakota Bro also making some big gains here. Lumley in particular is coming for the back row of the grid. And so with all the wreckage, Dom has gone up from 13th and last to 7th. Not a lot of green flag racing so far. We're coming to lap number 10 of 25. That leaves us with 16 to go when we go green with our second restart. Connor Popplewell sees the green, and this time around, everyone gets away cleanly. We're underway from the fairgrounds. Here comes heat racing. And the entire field, front to back, gets away clean. Well, except for one. Caution's out third time. It's the 86 of Chris Golden. Watch what happened here to the 86. Slow it down for you right there as Chris ended up backed up into the wall. Here's a replay. One more time. While the leaders got away, it looks like the 86 car here had some trouble. Just got loose on his own. Nobody else involved. And with 14 to go, that's your third yellow, a safety caution. That brings the field to a slowdown again. Big thing about these quarter-mile tracks, and this is compared to the rest of our schedule, pretty flat surface. We've gone to Eldora, we've gone to Hickory, Nashville, South Boston, Southern National, and Las Vegas to this point on the schedule. One thing those tracks all have in common, one way or another, and that includes the main Nashville configuration. One thing they have in common is that there is banking to all of their turns, even if it's a little. Here, not so much. You're basically racing on a flat circuit, and that means that when you get loose, there's no banking to push you back down. Green flag's out for your fourth restart of the day. It's a harder track to race on, even though it's so small. Double file, they all go. 12 laps to go, and at the head of the field, it's still Popplewell. Braxton Deweese trying to make a move there on Kyler Staley. Connor Popplewell with that advantage. Yeah, it looks like he has to worry not about any moves. As we watch on his backside, he is home free for the rest of the field right now. Clean air, and far and away is the likeliest man to win today. As with 10 remaining here, Colton Brooks lies back. Nathan Gregg has not yet been able to get there either. You can see him there cutting a little bit of the grass as he tries to get it very close to the inside, as close as possible. Double file, too wide briefly as the 62 of Dominic Lumley looks for more, but he can't get it now. Billy Gregg spins. It's caution number 5. Check this out. Gregg just loose out of 4 there. Nobody else he made contact with. Oh, he does make contact on the way out. That was a nasty hit. We'll play that back one more time here. Different angle. There, the 98 car getting around. As he tries to get back on the way, he gets hit big. Yellow flag is out again. It will regroup itself. Just under half of our field has gone down to pit road at least once today. Xavier King getting back in the mix. Outside. Coming to 6 laps to go, with Connor Popplewell leading them off. Double file, multiple rows deep, but Popplewell is home free as they're side by side for second. Way wide is Colton Brooks, and he'll be passed by DeWeese and Staley, both at once. Kyler Staley gets up to third place as Braxton DeWeese is now trying to fight and take a podium spot from him. Very close to contact there with the 62 of Dominic Lumley. Dominic, the big mover of the day so far, up from 13th to 5th. Contact further back, and the yellow flag is set to fly. It's Brian Sykes. This will bring us a green-white checkered finish if we have the time. With your 6th caution in 22 laps, Sykes off the back end of the 13. Got it off Colton Brooks. Snapped loose. Three laps remaining. Green, white, checkered ahead of us. This is what it comes down to. Only going to be 2 laps of racing. When we get to that checkered flag, well, it's all official. The white flag will set it off. Double file, 2 laps remaining, and it will be Popplewell with the big jump. Connor Popplewell into 1 and 2 as he's been all race long, dominant and free. Kyler Staley up to second. Contact for the 28, Nathan Gregg, as Gregg goes around. Will we see a caution? No, we will not. Gregg to the back of the field. 1 lap to go for Connor Popplewell. Braxton DeWeese ends up spinning and wrecking out. So does the 86 of Chris Golden. But there's no match for Popplewell. Connor Popplewell wins Heat 1, and the first twin race is his. Checkered flag for Popplewell with Kyler Staley, Dominic Lumley, Dakota Bro, and Brian Sykes, your top 5. Up 10 places, Dominic Lumley for the Hard Charger Award. The first Fast 25 have come and gone. Connor Popplewell, dominant from beginning to end. Now, we'll take that field and we will flip it on its head. Welcome to our second feature race. Maybe the same field as it was. Gonna have some time, though, to shuffle up the grid before we go racing. Connor Popplewell, your winner of race number 1 on the night. So now we move on to your second. But before we do, let's get a word from your first Twin 25 winner and see what exactly is going through his head right now. Connor Popplewell, if he is available, look like he is. We'll try to get him in. We'll speak to him. If not, we'll hear from him after this next race. As we said before the first race started, the big advantage today is going to be track position. If you have it, you're in a really good spot. If you don't, you're going to be very troublesome. That is for certain. As it stands, it looks like we're going to invert the field 10 places deep, which that your top 10 drivers are going to fall to the back of the field, and they're going to do so intentionally, which means they will start behind and have to work their way up. Connor's going to go to the back of the field. There's Kyler Staley there waiting. So now everyone reverses their positioning order in the top 10. This is going to change who's at the front of the field to set things off. And I believe that is going to leave us with Braxton DeWeese up at the front. Yes, it does. There's Braxton right there. You invert the top 10, and he is at the head of it. Iracing official pace car already with lights off, and the advantage will be given to DeWeese. So this gives us 2 scenarios. An incentive for the guys who didn't race as well last time now to try to push through, and for the guys who dominated last time around, it's a bigger challenge. Can we see Popplewell and company make it back Will Kyler Staley, Dominic Lumley, Dakota Bro, the drivers who were better in that last race, form again? Or will we see now the track position really is king no matter who's up front? Braxton DeWeese, a notable short track racer on FTN, champion of the 2024 Integrity Ignite Series. Set to go green. Next time by. And alongside DeWeese, it'll be the number 98. So that's Billy Gregg in second to get the ball rolling in this one. After them, you'll have the number 84 of Xavier King with contact. And we got trouble under yellow there. That was a huge hit. That's going to slow everything down as Billy Gregg is hit bad under caution. Gregg is coming up again. And he will line up second. So we're still organizing these guys and getting them settled in. Braxton Weiss alongside Billy Gregg, first and second. Race number 2. Let's see what happens now. Connor Popplewell to the inside, and he goes to pit road here. So it looks like it's in the start. Kyler Staley at the back of the field. See then John Riddle, Nathan Craig, Bailey 3, all staying back here. We're outside of the top 10. You're going to remain there, but the top 10 is what gets flipped around. Not everyone's going to change spots. Only a few drivers. Weiss and company ready to roll. Here's a look inside the cockpit. Braxton DeWeese. First gear. Still getting things prepared. Iracing official pace car waiting on the final command to head in. Had a 5-lap extension for pit road time just to make sure everyone's settled. "25 laps, just like the previous race you saw. That's what's in store for us here. Green-white checkered is a possibility. We have attempts. Now the iRacing official pace car sees the green flag waving. I think that's an indicator that next time through is the one. It'll be Braxton DeWeese, Billy Gregg alongside him, Dominic Lumley, then with the 84 of Xavier King. Just behind them, new group. Colton Brooks in number 13 on the inside. On the outside, you got the 09 car. This is for all the marbles, though, as it will be the number 8 of Braxton DeWeese leading race number 2. Top 10 flipped upside down, and DeWeese gets the jump as we go racing again from the fairgrounds. Braxton with a nice and smooth opening lap, but as quickly as we came back on, we see trouble. It's Dakota Bro. Yellow flag is out. So Dakota here. Oh, a little bit of contact and hook at the end of the lap. That was with Nathan Gregg, just minor contact. That'll spin him around. Dakota back of the field after that one. Caution's out. Lap number 3. Lap 2 caution, your first of race number 2. "22 laps remaining with Braxton DeWeese in control. Dominic Lumley getting a good spot again. After climbing from 13th and last to start the previous race, now running in 4th after finishing 5th prior run. Dominic has really been on the up and up here. and how interesting it would be to go from dead last one of these runs, winning perhaps. 1 lap to green now for our first restart at lap number 6. And maybe a chance to go for a last to first run after all, but only a few spots away. Braxton Deweese, green flags out. First restart of the day in this second race sees Deweese jump out clearly. Rest of field, oh, trouble, it's Lumley and Popplewell. 2 of the best from your first race already spun around. A little bit of pushing and shoving, and Popplewell got into the back of the 62. Meanwhile, Brian Sykes collects contact from the 86 of Chris Golden. 3 drivers spin, 4 at the wall. 5 as Chris Golden, of course, watches 2. John Riddle, yellows out again. John Riddle in the B1 Legend car there. 12th. A lot like what Braxton Deweese had to deal with back of the field earlier is what Popplewell is handling now. And track position proving to be king. Looks like whoever's at the front, very capable of one to green, 16 laps to go as the field begins again under the control of Deweese. This is your second restart. 16 remaining. A little bit of pushing and shoving for a single file restart. Ooh, huge hit for Xavier King and company. And the caution quickly flies. Nathan Gregg involved. And it's your third yellow. Take a look at this. Got to replay the full situation. Coming out of 4 here. And it looks like 84 just spawned back in after connection troubles. Ripped around. That's going to bring the number 28 in Nathan Gregg. Reaching halt. 52 Dakota Bro, similar issues. 62 of Lumley. Drives away. Also with contact, Brian Sykes. Popplewell just making it through. Twelve wraps. Of course, we got 12 to go. Wrap it up next time by. 13 laps to go as they run. Looks like it'll be less than that. We go green. John Riddle. It's there. Dakota Bro getting a lap back. 12 on the lead lap. Nathan Gregg, the only driver, off the lead lap as they run. Second single file restart. And it's your 4th overall. Oh, contact again. They shake. Lumley's around. Yellow's out. Popplewell spun 2 by the 86. Yellow flies. And unfortunately, the restart zone has been killer today. Really haven't gotten too many long runs, if any. Take a look at this. Just looks like a stack up, and the 62 got caught on the rear end, spun around, and Popplewell hit 2. Lumley goes for some acrobatics too. Luckily stayed in one piece. Stayed down to the ground, but you'll see Dominic coming down a pit road, so Cinderella story comes to an early end. 5th in race 1. Not sure if he can replicate that second run. Eight laps to go, 6 when we go green. Single file all the way down, and even though Braxton Luis has been comfortably in first, Billy Gregg also comfortable in second. Haven't seen a swap there. Did in the final 2 laps of the previous race. Let's see what happens in the second of these twin 25s. Green flags out. Much more spread at the front. They'll go double file in. Contact Lumley into Popplewell. And again, big trouble. Green is still out though. Not seeing a call for the caution. Now there's one. 86 spins 2. Watch this. Again with Dakota Bro. Popplewell spun. And I think the yellow flew because of the incident with Chris Golden after. Golden just got loose out of 4 there. Another incident with 4 laps remaining. Like we saw previously, another green-white checkered. It'll be headed by Braxton Luis. Braxton, little less pressure in these green flag runs. Going to be a lot more pressure now all at once. Here we go. 2-lap shootout. Green flags out again. This is for all the marbles. Yellow's out. Nathan Gregg goes spinning around. We're going to extend it for another green-white checkered attempt. See there, spin for the 28, loose off 4. Simple safety yellow. Bring the field around again. Braxton Luis on the verge of this win. Has been in control all throughout the night. Now just has to finish it off. A half-mile worth of racing. His chance to close it comes here and now when those safety car lights go off. It's race time till the end. Luis with the chance to make this invert the perfect storm for the number 8 team, as he will lead things with 2 laps to go. First overtime attempt, and Luis brings them up to speed. Contact again. Big contact. They all blow around. Double overtime. We have 3 attempts. What more after this one? Take a look at this incident before we go green once more. Bailey's threed among those who were involved. There's Kyler Staley. And the 61. Bailey 3 goes wide and high as the number 1 of John Riddle collects contact. Field is slowed again. 1 to green for your second overtime attempt. double or nothing for Braxton DeWeese as the green flag is out once more. Side by side all the way through. Oh, the 61 goes around Bailey Threet, and so does the 99 of Brian Sykes. We're going to our third and final attempt. The replay on that incident. And we could be at a point of 35 plus laps. 3 overtimes. Absolute most we can have in a race. 99 flies up. Two drivers slide out. Field is collected again. Still, Braxton DeWeese leading. He's led more laps today than anyone now, thanks to this race being longer. One more time, Braxton DeWeese leads the field off of 1 and 2. This is it no matter what. Whether we stay clean or wreck, this 2-lap shootout is for all the marbles. No contact. Everyone clean. One more lap. Billy Gregg wrecks out a second. We'll keep going. And Braxton DeWeese, with Colton Brooks trailing behind, has no competition. Leading 35 of 35 laps, DeWeese outlasts the challenge, and he wins in triple overtime. It's DeWeese, Colton Brooks, Kyler Staley, Xavier King, and Dominic Lumley. Lumley finishing 5th in both races to conclude the Twin 25s. Race day so quickly begins and comes to a close. So now, we take a step back on FTN Broadcasting and Elevated. We'll figure out where your race winners are, and we'll get a word from both of them right after these messages. Stay tuned for the following interviews. It'll be Connor Popplewell and Braxton DeWeese right after this.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. Iracing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iracing.com.
Welcome back on Elevated TV and FTN Broadcasting to continued coverage of the Twin 25s at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. I'm David Kreutz, commentating and producing, and after 2 heat races, we have 2 winners. And we'll see your second race winner first. Led the most laps of any driver today. That's the number 08, and that is Braxton DeWeese. We're standing by with him right now. Braxton, you outlasted the triple overtime challenge and ended up winning. Looks like you were able to survive the storm better than anyone else.
Yeah, that was something there. Glad we were able to at least get a win tonight. I told Cody in the chat earlier that I at least need to get a win tonight, and we did. So that's good. Unfortunate because we were going to be finishing third in the first race, so we got spun 1 and 2. Unfortunately. I haven't looked back at it, but 3 and 4, we made contact with somebody, and I think they had came down a little bit. At least it felt like in the car. But either way, that was a little frustrating because we really needed that for points. But we definitely gained some. in that second race there on the two fellas that we were either tied with or in front of us.
Well, first and foremost, walk us through that first heat because we did see a little more green flag racing there. You were working your way up, and then that final lap incident set you up for the second. So what was it like getting that expertise and getting that experience with the first heat first and foremost?
Yeah, well, that invert definitely helped with it being 10 cars. I pretty much just had to make sure I did everything I needed to do with restarts and starts, and I was and not mess up with my line on the track, just the normal stuff. And I probably wasn't going to get too rattled or anything. It was pretty close there. I know Billy could have probably sent me a couple times, but it's the racecraft, and trying to pass somebody clean is what matters. And I'm glad that somebody else had that in their mind tonight. It's you gotta take it easy, and you really got to get these heat in the tires, and with really not getting any green flag laps, you're not really getting too much heat in the tires. So just give and take and being a little patient is all it is, especially here.
And now only 2 races left on the schedule to go out with a bang. Next up is going to be Kern County. So how are you feeling now with this win and the wind in your sails to go all the way across the country and try to do it again?
Well, we need to win, get the points. So the next 2 rounds, it's just going to be our goal, nonetheless. If even if we weren't battling for points, just going to try to go for the win. So this is definitely good momentum that we need to try to carry on over there to the West Coast, and hopefully we can do well in them street stocks at Kern County. I've raced them before, and they're pretty fun there. So I'm looking forward to that, as well as late model stocks at Five Flags. I ran that not too long ago as well. So as long as I can, hit all my marks and not make any dumb mistakes in qualifying or any heats or any races, then we should be all right. So, we'll just try to do our best and try to set ourselves up to try to go for the championship here.
A dominant rebound race. Winning heat number 2, Braxton Nuis ends up on top from the fairgrounds. He may have any final shout-outs you'd like to send. The floor is yours, Braxton.
I appreciate it. Most definitely happy karaoke, as well as Interstate 4, 3 Dips Ice Cream Shop, Steak Time, Allen's Arts Images, Dewey's Renovations, Elevated TV. I'm looking forward to going back and seeing some of the racing that was done just a little bit. I appreciate you, David, for coming on board and broadcasting. I know you always do a damn good job no matter what, especially in the Integrity League that I was in with you. You did really good, so look forward to that. But also paid lead with Nickel Band, Ghost Train, Short Track Report, Scrimmage Tires Media, Evan Pieta Designs, and Howard Pete's House over in Winchester, Indiana. They help the Roadster Series at Winchester when we run there, so we appreciate them, and appreciate everybody that puts an effort into this and the broadcast. This week was definitely probably one of the worst weeks, but there's a lot of factors that went into it that probably didn't help. So we'll just move on to next week, and hopefully it can be a lot better.
Braxton Nuis winning today in race number 2 for the Twin 25s and dominant throughout. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, David. Take care, man.
Unfortunately, we won't be able to hear from Connor Popplewell, but there's one of your winners from tonight's festivities. It's tight. It was tricky to pass, that's for sure. We got 2 hard-fought winners out of it. Braxton Nuis recovering from heat number 1 to go all the way in the next one, and Connor Popplewell making qualifying the most important part of the night, winning our first run. With all that said and done, we're moving on to next week, January 15th. It'll be a 50-lap race at Kern County Speedway, brought to you live on Elevated TV, and we'll be finishing off the season 2 weeks after that, January 22nd, for a 100-lap feature. Stay tuned when you'll find out next week where our money race is at. We hope you stay tuned with us on Elevated TV and FTN Broadcasting alike. If you enjoyed today's coverage, I've been your commentator and producer, David Kreutz, calling the shots here from the broadcast booth from the virtual venue. Well known, the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. You've been watching coverage of the Rolling Thunder iRacing Series and the Nashville Twin 25s. Thank you for tuning in to tonight's action. We hope to see you next week when we go racing again from Kern County. Until then, thank you for stopping by. Congratulations to Connor Popwell and Braxton Weiss on their victories. We hope you have a fantastic night.